A WhatsApp question from Kai, who says, X has been a cesspit of racism, misogyny and anti-Semitism for a long time now. But with Elon Musk refusing to take action to stop child sexual abuse happening with Grok, why hasn't the UK government stopped using the platform themselves and banned it yet? Now, the Tech Secretary, Liz Kendall, has announced today that requesting AI technology to sexualise images without the consent of the people featured in those images will be made a criminal offence later this week. I mean, that is really action this day, isn't it? It shows it can be done, I suppose. Helena.
Well, I mean, what we are seeing with X, with the Grok, all of these horrendous images that people are creating of many female colleagues in Parliament and even children, people are creating these sexualised images, is absolutely horrendous. And so what we've seen today from the government is the announcement from Ofcom that they are fully investigating. They will use all powers at their disposal. And of course, because of the legislation that the Labour government has passed, they now have more powers to act on the platforms if they don't protect people and protect children from these images. And we also need to see the creation of these images outlawed. So we've already passed legislation to that effect. That will come into effect this week, because we cannot have this kind of abuse of women and children on platforms in our society. It's not in keeping with British values. You know, we're a country that values people's rights, people's dignity. This is about the exploitation of the vulnerable by powerful interests, and it's about people profiting from that. You know, X is making a huge amount of money from exploiting these images without people's consent.
Elon Musk and no doubt JD Vance will say, well, this is further proof that Britain does not believe in free speech and it's a semi-fascist state.
I don't think.
I'm not saying that.
I know. I think anyone that you stop in the street in this country recognises we're a country with a proud history of freedom of speech. We uphold that in what we do.
When we arrest 33 people a day for online speech crimes, are we a proud country that protects freedom of expression?
I think we are.
When Lucy Connolly was sentenced to 31 months in prison for one single online post?
Myself and Andrew can get up in the House of Commons and say whatever we want and be protected by parliamentary privilege. We're a country that really values freedom of speech.
So you guys have free speech, but the rest of the country
Lucy
don't.
Connolly, something that she pleaded guilty to, an offence she pleaded guilty to. Racially aggravated.
As she was convinced to by her very terrible lawyer, who has since actually said that this was...
I don't want to get this diverted on Lucy Connolly.
We should be relitigating one court case. I think most people in this country agree we have got a proud history of freedom of speech. I
do think they do.
You see it in our values, you see it in the conduct of our public life, and most people do not want to see women and children's images exploited in this way without their consent. People in this country do not stand for that. It's against our basic standards of dignity,
Okay, Reem,
and that's why we're acting against
it. Address the question about these sexualised images.
Well, I mean, I've had them made of myself after Elon Musk quote tweeted me last week, which was rather interesting. I think a lot of this conversation about banning X as a platform as a whole is inherently political, because you can also make these kind of images using Gemini and ChatGPT and every other AI platform out there. You can also, by the way, make a sexualized image of somebody using Photoshop, but we don't ban Photoshop because clearly the problem is the user, the people that are disgusting enough to make these kind of images. They are the problem, not the tool. AI is just a new tool. We do not ban pen and paper because I can draw a naked image of you, Iain. You know, we're making sure that what we are doing is actually targeting the users themselves, and that is exactly what Elon Musk has done.
Surely that is what this legislation will do. If somebody is found to be creating these images, they will suffer the consequences.
Yes.
But how did that make you feel when they did that of you?
I actually didn't really care, to be honest. But I understand that other people do
what
care
about children?
Those kind of
They're creating these images of children.
And when it comes to children, that is an element of it.
Is that a different line?
But we do have to.
With children, it's different.
Well, no, it's the same with everybody. I mean, you shouldn't be making sexualised images of anybody without their consent. That doesn't mean we should ban the platform, though.
But I don't think anybody's saying ban it, are they?
Well, this question asked, why haven't we banned it yet? And that's my answer. You know, this is an entire sort of overreaction to effectively what is people that are bad actors using a new tool. We don't ban the tool. Don't blame the tool. Blame the people, the disgusting people that are doing this. And by the way, Elon Musk has taken action by restricting it to those that are paid subscribers, because it means that they
That's just weird.
Well, it means that their details have to be, they have to have bank details that are being put in. It means that those people are no longer anonymous. You cannot be anonymous and make these kind of images.
It's a premium service to.
So because I pay.
Well, it means
because I pay, I can, and I do pay for X. So I can make these images, but I don't know whether you do pay or
but you're not a terrible
Helena
person
can't.
and you won't do it.
Well, no, of course I won't. But it's
so you
a
blame the
weird
user,
system.
not the tool.
For me, I left X.
You're going to ban a pen and paper?
In April, I left April 3 years ago. It will be 3 years since I left X. I'm happier. I sleep better. I'm less angry, and I see a better world view. Genuinely, I couldn't think of anything better. But I think the points that Reem is making about banning pieces of paper is a bit of a straw man argument.
What about Photoshop?
It's a complete straw man argument, because what we're dealing with here is far more fundamental than that. I agree with you that there are limits to how much we can do to try and control freedom of speech in this country. And I do agree we go over the top a little bit in this country. I'm a huge believer in freedom of expression, and there are laws that stop you, for example, from inciting violence. There are laws that stop you doing certain things. And that's a good level. But in America's level of understanding of what freedom of speech looks like is not what we understand it to be in this country. What this is about...
It's a real shame.
What this is about is completely different. What this is about is an AI tool that is incredibly powerful, that could be used for a hell of a lot of good in society, is being used to abuse women and children. And that is fundamentally not just about bad actors.
But as Reem says, Photoshop can do that.
Yeah, but Photoshop, you can do that and it will be in your bedroom and nobody's probably likely to see it. This will be on a platform that will be seen by billions of people.
But you can do it on Photoshop and
on top of that, Elon Musk is going to make money off of it. That's the most egregious part of this process.
Why does that matter?
It matters because this is a man who's not interested in you or me, Reem, and he's only interested in making money, and he's only interested in making money from anger, from awfulness.
This is a misunderstanding of the profit motive.
Let me finish. He's only interested in making money on the basis of anger and making people feel and behave in the worst instincts of what they're about.
I completely disagree with you on this.
That's where you're supporting.
And I think, that's absolutely outrageous to say that I'm supporting anger and those kind of grotesque comments. What I am saying is that I personally think that X is a fantastic platform. I think AI has some really brilliant uses. And people going out to say we should just completely ban the platform I'm sorry, but they are politically motivated, because if you do believe you need to ban X altogether, then let's also ban ChatGPT, ban Gemini, ban pens and paper and Photoshop.
I agree with you. It would be completely counterproductive to try and ban it.
Morgan raises an interesting point. He says Grok has no guardrails. ChatGPT, Gemini, Alexa all have guardrails and prevent users creating those pictures. Twitter is not the only social media, and Grok is not the only AI. So to compare it to pen and paper is dumb. Andrew.
Yeah, look, I agree basically with a lot of the points made by everybody. The images that were made were abhorrent, especially the sexualized images of children. I have a friend who is one of the young women who suffered at the hands of these cowards who hide behind anonymized profiles and inflicted what was a very uncomfortable few weeks on this individual. And I do think it's right that Ofcom should conduct an investigation. I very much hope that Elon Musk does the right thing and removes this capability from Grok. Do I think that X should be...
Hang on, Reem.
Do I think that X should be banned in the UK? No, frankly, I don't. I think that would be a wrong-headed move. I think it completely misses the point. It is about the bad actors themselves. I think that X as a company need to come down much harder. And actually, it'd be much more preferable if this capability within Grok was removed entirely. That is within Elon Musk's power to do that. I very much hope that he does that in the end. I fundamentally believe that at heart, he is a decent person and will do the right thing. But, we'll let Ofcom conduct its investigation. And the perpetrators of these...
Why do we always
acts
need to have these contracted out investigations?
Well, because that's how that's within the
Why
Online
can't
Safety
politicians
Act.
actually say, well, I'm a politician, I'm a government minister, I'm ordering this to happen?
Well, look, I'm all for bringing power back to ministers. I mean, as a minister in the former government, I was more than frustrated more than once to find out that we had very little power within the department in which I was serving. It was all contracted out to arm's length bodies and non-governmental organisations, all the rest of it. But in regards to this specific instance, it is written in the Online Safety Act that Ofcom are responsible for policing that act, and so therefore it falls to them to conduct the investigation. That is the laws as they're set out right now.
Can I just ask very quickly, there is a legitimate use for this kind of use of AI. If I say, for example, wanted to know what I look like in a blue bikini, I might want to put my image in there and see what I'd look like in a blue bikini. I don't think that should be illegal, and that is what you're proposing.
But I think it should be illegal for me to be.
Yes, I think you should be able to do that.
You said you want to remove the capability for AI to do it at all.
No. For others to not AI, but I think on Grok and others doing it uninvited to another.
So that wouldn't be removing the capability. That would be introducing a law like this government is attempting to do.
I think it could be the capability for an individual to inflict that on somebody else. That is surely within the capabilities of X.
How do you monitor whether or not you're doing it for yourself? Say if I wanted to do it for my friend has asked me what she looks like in a red bikini, and I've put her image in, but oh God, I've broken the law because it is somebody else and it's not myself.
No, that isn't.
I think again, you're having a kind of hypothetical debate about something that isn't the reality.
But all debates are about hypotheticals.
You could look at the restrictions that we place in this country on who can buy knives and what you need to show in a shop when you buy knives.
And
for good reason.
Effect whatsoever on
firearms,
knife
it's
not true.
Firearms, the same kind of restrictions and licensing laws. So there's a reason, because they can do harm, and this is a platform. This tool is allowing people to do great harm to children and women. And
right, I'm going to censor this debate now and end it.